right, today we're multiplying and dividing rational expressions. Legit, one of my favorite things. You did it in Algebra 1 probably. So this is going to be a little bit of a revisit. So I'd love for you guys to be able to simplify some rational expressions, and I'd love to be able for you to multiply and divide those rational expressions. So these are examples of rational expressions. Expression means there's no equal sign, otherwise it'd be an equation. But you'll have stuff like x squared minus 4 over x plus 2, or 10 over x squared minus 6. So we're going to simplify these with all kinds of the tricks that we know. Right? Very fun. A lot of factoring. But what is the one number you can never divide by? 0. So you have to look up for what answers could work out to have a denominator of 0, because that would be a problem. Right? We'll call those excluded values here in a minute. So let's try some of these out. Simplify, identify any x values for which the expression is undefined. So again, we only need to worry about the denominator, and we only need to worry about when you see x's in the denominator. So we have to go with the original. That's one of the first things I like to find. So the only x in the denominator is this 2x to the 4th. So what is the only way I can make the denominator equal 0? Well, it would be if that x equaled 0, right? Or like think of, you don't want 2x to the 4th to equal 0, so you can divide by 2. You don't want x to the 4th to equal 0, and the 4th root of 0 is 0. So our only excluded value here would be x cannot equal 0. So we'll hold on to that, because that's part of our answer. Now the other part is simplifying what you see there. Now 3 over 2, you can't simplify those anymore. But x to the 7th over x to the 4th, remember when you divide with the exponents, you subtract them. So there are 3 more x's in the numerator. So simplified, that would be 3x to the 4th over 2. So there it is, simplified all the way, that x cannot equal 0. That is the excluded value. Both are very important parts of the answer. So B, you have x squared minus 2x minus 3 over x squared plus 5x plus 4. We're going to factor both of these. So the numerator, up top, they multiply to negative 3, so it has to be 1 plus and 1 minus. The only factors of 3 are 3 and 1. So to get them to add up to that negative 2 up top, it'd have to be minus 3 and plus 1. Now as far as the denominator, we need 2 factors of 4 that add up to 5, which would be 1 and 4. Right? 1 times 4 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. So after you get it in factored form, here's where I need you to do your excluded values. Before we start canceling stuff out, because we're going to cancel some stuff here in a minute, but this x cannot equal negative 1, because if it was negative 1, then the whole denominator would work out to be 0. So it cannot equal negative 1. Now this x could not equal negative 4, because if it was negative 4, then the whole denominator would work out to 0. So these are our 2 excluded values. X could not equal negative 1 or negative 4, because again, the denominator would equal 0, and you can't divide by 0, it's undefined. That part is handled. Now simplifying, do you see anything that's in the numerator and the denominator that we can cancel out? They both have the x plus 1, so we can cancel 1 for 1. So we're left with x minus 3 over x plus 4. Now, if you kept the parentheses around them, that would be fine. They're just unnecessary at this point. But I have 3 that I would like you to try down here. They're going to require some factoring. 1c is very tricky because it's a lot of that old factoring stuff. But hey, I did want to mention this. Get the excluded values before you cancel, because if you didn't, you might only look at the plus 4 and say, oh, x cannot equal negative 4. But you have to go back to the original source. It also can't equal negative 1. It can't. So I'll have you try out the other ones here. I'll scooch it down and I'll start them in the next video.